This is episode 159, the most valuable lesson I ever learned about money.
Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode.
Money. It's such a fascinating topic. I don't know if there's a more diverse conversation than money. Something that is at the core of everything, every day, in all of our lives. Yet, so many different relationships to money. Healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, rules around what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. Money. You ever hold a dollar bill in your hand and just wonder, who printed this? Where's that room? Who has a key to that? If they wanted to, could they just go in and print what they need? And what's funny is we don't even have physical bills in our hand very often. I don't know about you, but I don't carry it. You talk to our kids, our next generation, like, why would I touch that dollar bill? That thing's filthy. That's dirty. Cards of plastic to monitor the exchange, now moving away from those, everything app-based, wallet for this thing. Yet it's so at the core to how we live our life every single day, to what we do, to how we do it, to what we get to do, to when we get to do it. And our relationship with money ultimately determines how it shows up in our life every single day and to what extent it shows up. And I want to talk about that relationship and share a lesson that I got from a billionaire entrepreneur a little while back that totally shifted my perspective on money. And I know today's topic is going to be relevant to every one of you, no matter where you are, what you're doing, the path you are on right now when it comes to money. So, through a friend of a friend, I found myself a few years back in downtown Detroit. And what a crazy story of a city, right? The hub of the Industrial Revolution. At one time, one of the most successful, prominent cities in the country, maybe even in the world, that went through complete devastation. Still today, you can drive down streets right outside Detroit. I just did this recently and see just streets of abandoned houses just completely crumbling, nobody in them, streets and streets and streets of them. And it's crazy, you can't help but flash back and picture in your mind the time when these were like booming families and now still destitute. But the city itself has been in a revival, and one of the individuals that's been helping with that is an entrepreneur named Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert, if you're a sports fan, you might know is the owner of the Cleveland Cavs basketball team. As an entrepreneur, you might know his crazy success. As a consumer, you might know his company Quicken Loans, and now there's a family of companies under that empire. But what's interesting about Dan is he kind of took it upon himself and his team to revitalize downtown Detroit. And I had the privilege of actually getting a private tour of his offices, his headquarters, late one night. Side tangent story, I walked into his office, and right in the center of his personal office was this giant model replica of downtown Detroit, like to the T, like every building, street, light. And it was the whole downtown, and the only difference, everything was mirroring real life, the colors, the ratios, except for some of the tops of the buildings. What felt like maybe 2/3 of them were painted green. And I asked, well, why are these green? And he said, well, those are the ones we own. And it was just a massive, massive leveling up of mindset, looking at a replica of what was an iconic city in the world that literally a private individual and a team has bought up and revitalizing. And it's amazing and inspiring what they're doing. But we continued on the tour and went into the boardroom. And the boardroom was built inside the Federal Reserve. So their corporate headquarters is the building that used to be a Federal Reserve, as in where the Fed kept all of the gold and the money back in the day. And the boardroom itself is actually behind what was the central safe. And it still exists today. You walk through a door that must be 3 feet thick of complete steel, and you go through the code. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen to spin the dial to open the door, and right in the center of what was the central safe is the boardroom table. Really historic. I mean, really cool concept. And I remember looking up in the building, and I saw something written that I'll never forget. And written on the wall were the words, "Money doesn't lead, it follows." Money doesn't lead, it follows. And I remember that being such an impactful moment and shift in my life as I'm standing in what was a Federal Reserve safe in a Federal Reserve building, where at that time there was more money going out the back gate in Quicken Loans every day than there used to be in gold bricks when it was our Federal Reserve. How's that for a story? Doing more business every day in loans than gold bricks that used to go out of the same building. Talk about a statement. But an empire that was literally built on a business of money. A business of money. And written on the wall was the value statement, money doesn't lead, it follows. Because I'm a huge believer in intention. For those of us that have walked together, you know I'm a believer that intention matters. Intention is everything. How we show up, what we expect, the energy we bring determines our experience and dictates our outcome in everything. I don't think money is any different. I think the intention we bring to the topic is everything. It goes back to what's our relationship with money? If I were to ask you that right now, what's your relationship with money? How would you even answer the question? You know, I've been through seasons in my life where I've had it. I've been through seasons where I thought it would never end. I've been through seasons where I didn't. I've been through seasons where I felt like no matter what I did, I couldn't get it. Seasons of scarcity, chasing, seasons of abundance, flowing. And I'm sure if you reflect on your own life, there's been seasons where you've been on both sides of that coin, the up and down of the roller coaster. I think that's normal. And I remember a big shift I had when it came to my own belief system around money, where maybe in my younger years it was tied to things, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Tied to access, tied to luxury, tied to a certain quality or standard of where you live and how you live, and there's nothing wrong with that, so don't misunderstand me. And then I went through a shift where I realized money is about so much more. For me, money means health more than anything. And it might sound funny that money means health, but in today's day and age, money provides access to quality foods, access to quality supplements. Money provides access to quality care. Heaven forbid we personally or a family member goes through health scares and health crises. Look, we've all been there. It's normal. It's a function of life. It's inevitable. And having the financial resources to get access to the best help, to me, is what matters. So to me, money is about health. To me, money is about freedom more than anything. Things are fun, but freedom of your time, freedom of your calendar, freedom of your creativity, freedom to pursue the things that you love and that light you up, right? About freedom. For me, money is about impact. And that's a huge shift, especially for those of you guys out there that maybe like me, there's a little part of you that feels weird wanting more when maybe you're grateful for what you have. Right? Or maybe there's a part of you that feels, that you don't deserve the outrageous lifestyle that's possible that you see other people living today, right? We all have parts of us that hold us back, right? The what's the saying today? Imposter syndrome. It's like everybody has a little bit of imposter syndrome where you don't feel like you are enough, you have enough, right? You've become enough to maybe warrant the lifestyle that you see that can be possible. We all have a little bit of that. But then you realize that money, it's not really a selfish thing. Money can be a selfless thing. Money can be about impact. You have to have money. You have to have income in order to make an impact. The more money you have, the bigger of a platform you can build, the more of an audience you can reach, the more of an impact you can make, the more of a ripple you can create. That all takes money as a vehicle. Money doesn't have to be selfish. Money can be selfless. It's the old saying that money makes you more of what you are. And that's absolutely true. Money exposes who you are. Money amplifies who you are. Money magnifies who you are. And if you're true to yourself and you know yourself, and you know what your intention is, then you shouldn't be afraid of having more. Having more just allows you to give more, to create more, to do more, to impact more. So it goes back to a relationship with money, and so many of us, we're stuck with a relationship that was given to us by our parents or our family members or our educators or people around us, and we're either lucky or we're not, whether their relationship was healthy or not, and we've adopted that as our own, never really auditing or reviewing what is our relationship, when at the end of the day, everything starts with an intention. What is the intention we bring to the conversation about money? And I go back to that saying on that wall, money doesn't lead, it follows. Because I think that summarizes it all so succinctly. There's nothing wrong with money. There's nothing wrong with wanting it. There's nothing wrong with having it. There's nothing wrong with desiring it. As long as you realize that that's not the focus, it's the outcome. When we say money doesn't lead, it follows what, right? Money follows you following something you're passionate about, putting passion first, putting something that excites you first, something that lights you up. Money follows purpose. What's purpose? Purpose is something that's greater than you. It's something that is about others. It's something that's serving others. It's creating an impact. Money is about purpose. It follows what? Value. Creating value for other people, creating value in someone's life, changing the way someone operates every day, no matter how big, no matter how small, but making it better in some way. And if we focus on those things, adding value to people's lives in some way every single day, following a purpose that makes an impact, following a passion that lights us up, if you focus on that and that is your intention and you stay in that lane, there's no way you can operate from a place of passion and purpose, excited, contagious, in a way that offers value to others and not have money flow. At least that's my belief. And so I wanted to have that conversation today because there is a paradox out there when it comes to money. And so often, especially now when there's conversation around recession and where it's going to go and all these fear-based conversations, it can trigger a scarcity mentality. And it can trick us in focusing on the wrong thing. It can trick us into focusing on holding on to what we have or the dollar coming in. And in my experience, if you chase the dollar, it always eludes you. And if it's about the dollar, even if you get it, you don't keep it. But if you realize that it's about something more, it's money doesn't lead, it follows. It's about a purpose, it's about a passion, it's about value, it's about impact, it's about serving, it's about contribution, it's about creation. It's about all of those things. If you focus there, money comes. And don't get me wrong, it's important. For the reasons that I shared in my life, to me, it's important for health, it's important for freedom, it's important for impact. And for you, maybe it's important for those, or maybe it's important for others. But I think it's important that you get clear on what your intention is, why it matters, so you have a healthy relationship, and then focus your energy every single day, your time, on something greater. And that's the paradox. By focusing on something greater, it comes. By focusing on it directly, it runs away. So I wanted to have that conversation with all of you today and challenge you that as we continue to go through this season, whatever winter season this is, whatever recession season this is or this not, and money is and will continue to be such a primary topic of conversation, and so it should be, don't get lost. And just remember that sign that I saw in that boardroom. Money doesn't lead, it follows. Until the next time we walk together, I hope all of you have an amazing week. I hope all of you focus on something that's greater, something that serves, something that makes an impact. And through that, you get all the abundance that's possible and all the abundance you deserve. Take care, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @Blake Malin and shoot me a DM. And as always, Thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.